found the GroomPod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Susie, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird.
Hey, Susie, so happy to be here. So what have we got scheduled for today?
Oh, we've got an exciting podcast. It's episode 456 of the GroomPod, and the date is August 24th, 2025, and I'm in Snohomish, Washington, and Barbara is in our South studio in Greenville, South Carolina. This podcast is brought to you by our kind sponsors, Best Shot, Show Season, Precision Sharp, Stasco, and GroomMore. And if you'd like to tip your podcasters, you can do so at our website, thegroompod.com, where you will see a donation button. And that donation button goes directly to Barbara Bird for her travels and adventures. Or you can support the show in the Patreon way, because there's a button for that as well. This week, Barbara, we're going to talk about blenders and chunkers. How exciting, because it's been a while since we've talked blenders and chunkers, and they keep evolving. And we're going to talk Doggie odor, the role of fragrances. What's new this week is brought to you by GroomMore software. If you haven't found GroomMore, you're missing out. GroomMore is an all-in-one software solution for your grooming business. Whether you are a solo mobile groomer or manage several shops, GroomMore has everything you need. 24-hour online booking and forms, routing, credit card processing, reminders, Google Calendar and QuickBooks integration, and so much more. And the best customer service anywhere. Shop mobile or house call, GroomMore has you covered. And they're giving us a free month. Just enter GroomPod22 in the coupon code. You guys, if you're using GroomMore software and you're looking to get in touch with the company, the absolute best way you can do that is through the chat feature on the mobile app. If you just hit that chat feature and leave a message there, they get back to you super quickly. If you email them, I don't know, I think emails sometimes get lost in the shuffle, but that chat button, that'll get you right to customer service, and they do have the best customer service out there. The All-American just happened. And our field reporter, Dana Chavez-Ray, was there, and she did a fun walkthrough of the trade show floor. We were going to have her do one at Super Zoo, but it was so overwhelming. She just never really got a chance to get any good video there, but she did it at the All-American. So that video will be posted on our YouTube site. So look for the YouTube video of the All-Americans trade show floor. And, we're planning another mobile takeover at Cascade Grooming Supply. Michael and I, we plan it together. So if you guys have local groomers and you want to have a get-together and you think, wouldn't it be fun to have a get-together, but nobody ever organizes a get-together, it's because you have to organize the get-together. There's nobody else who's going to ever do it. Everybody else is thinking about it, and everybody else, or I will say a lot of people will show, but it's hard to get people to volunteer to do any work. So I find that if you lure them in with something delicious like pizza and beverages and desserts and fun times, that they'll show up. But you've got to be the organizer. So we're organizing one at Cascade Grooming Supply for September, I want to say it's 21st. Barbara, you'll have that day off. That's really the only exciting thing that went on this week, is I planned a mobile thingamajig, whirligig. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. We're calling it a takeover this time. So it's getting to be more fall-like here, even though I know we still have another month of summer.
God, you barely had sliver of summer.
It's true. But we've had some, like it's sunny out there right now and 84 degrees today, which is plenty of summer for me. That's about as much summer as I need. We've only had 2 days so far in the 90s, and I hope to keep it that way because now it's dark a little bit earlier, and I don't think we'll hit the 90s anymore. So I think we made it through. You know, here in the Northwest, we don't have a lot of air conditioning.
I miss my friends and my life in Tucson, but I do not miss the summer weather. And I am not suffering in South Carolina. I thought that I would have trouble with the humidity, but I've got AC. it's just like easy peasy. I mean, I go out in the middle of the day and sit in my rocking chair on my balcony. It's fine with me. And the locals are all complaining, oh, it's so hot. It's like 85.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hot. I say, oh, you sissy. You know, like, how did you ever live in Tucson? I said, you know what? When you're in Tucson, you learn to love it.
I imagine.
It's survival. You just be sure you cover your steering wheel
Right.
whenever you park your vehicle. You got to have everything covered all the time.
My F 150
Yeah.
is so big. It's built for like a dude that's 6'8". It's huge. The truck is huge. So when I sit on it, I can't see over the dashboard. So I have to have a little cushion, and it's gray and it gets very hot. So I have to carry a towel and cover it.
Oh,
Those are the little things you learn.
yeah, you would really be in trouble in Tucson. The old hot seat.
So the reason I bring up that it's almost fall is because every fall, every September 1st, I do something that makes my holidays that much brighter. And that is, Barbara, I raise my prices every September 1st, every year. I don't raise everybody every year, but I raise the majority of everybody every year, and everyone knows to expect it.
How much do you hike it?
I think this year will be $5. Usually it's 2 because I do it every year. So it's like $2, $2, $2. But this year I think it'll be 5 because I held back during COVID.
Right.
I didn't raise anybody. And then even though I've been going up a little bit, I really didn't make up for the jump that's happened with inflation and all that. So I'll probably go $5, which at the end of the holidays is a very nice raise. It's a good raise. So I suggest to everybody, get your people used to raising your prices the same time every year.
Yeah, and be smart. Do like Susie. Raise your prices before the holidays, not right after,
Yes.
so that the holiday grooming will be all that more beneficial to your pocket.
Absolutely. I never quite understood that. Oh, well, we raise it on the first. Well, why would you want to raise it on the first? Then you've missed all of your bonus money that just happened. And believe me, they never complain. They know to expect it. I'm reasonably priced anyway, so going up $5, it's not a deal breaker because I don't want it to be a deal breaker. They want me to make a living, and I want them to stay with me so I don't have to deal with new people. So, well, scratch my back, I'll scratch your back kind of thing. I make sure that I don't break the bank, but I also make sure that I can pay my bills. The way I do that is I do the numbers every year. I know what it costs for me to pull up to a house. I know what my expenses are going to be. It's predictable now because I've been a mobile groomer for over 20 years. So I can predict that stuff. It's harder when you're starting out, but you want to have that number in mind every time you go. So any grooming stuff happen with you? You did take the dogs to the vet. That was a shocker.
Yeah, I took the dogs to the vet, and it was robbed blind. But I had to. I had to because little skin infection was just running rampant, and it was like a third of her body, and all in her armpits and in her flanks, and she was very uncomfortable and was starting to itch a lot. And then she did this funny scooting on the carpet. She found this way to go in a circle. Her front paws would move a little bit, and she'd just move her butt around in a circle. It's pretty cute.
I love that stuff.
It wasn't because she had an anal gland problem or anything like that. It's because she had this itchy skin stuff on her butt that she was scratching on the carpet. And the vet said that it was most likely allergies because she'd had a lot of it and a lot of this kind of yeasty reaction from whatever's in the pollen is going on. And so for my $750, I just kind of got this off the top of her head diagnosis. I was not happy. I was not happy, but It's a good practice. It's well established. It's a nice young woman vet. And I liked the people and I liked the vet. I just didn't like their policies and their pricing. And
Especially nowadays, you don't get to necessarily watch the doctor examine your animal. And that is really frustrating to me.
I just didn't get that. I have never had that happen before. The vet tech comes in, takes my animal into the back where the vet, so the vet doesn't come in until the whole everything is over, and she comes in with the invoice, and then runs through. Well, we did this, this, and this.
I think that's a bad business model. And if you think of it as applied to pet grooming, for instance, somebody comes in and you have a receptionist and the groomer never gets to talk to you. Think of all the communication mistakes that can happen between the person who drops the dog off and the person who's actually working on the dog. Or in the same way, if you're not there to talk to the doctor while the examination is going on, you can't ask those questions that come up as they're going over your pet. And I just think that's wrong. I hate it.
Oh, and you want to know the embarrassing thing that happened?
What?
You understand that it's a new vet, so I had to groom my animals before I took them to the vet, right? And it's not like they were, I mean, I would not do that if they were like sick and dying, but it was a first impression, and I really wanted them to make a good impression. So I bathed both of them and I trimmed them real nice, and I took Marco and I took a 7 blade down his body, and then I plucked his legs up and I scissored them and got his face cute, and I got everything done except the toenails, and I have such a time with them that instead of struggling with them because I was pretty tired, I asked my caregiver and housekeeper if he would come early and help me. So I forgot that I really hate it when he helps me. Because here's the deal, he won't let me restrain the dogs with the table system. He thinks that's cruel. He wants to hold the dog and then sing to it while I clip the nails. Can you imagine what my mind was like? Like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Oh, Marco, my little boyfriend, I love you. Oh, and so
It's like you're back with Yvonne.
it's like I'm back with Yvonne. I know he's singing to the dogs, and I know he thinks that really makes a difference.
Aw, well, that's cute.
He thinks that his cooing at them really makes a difference. Kind of drives me crazy. And I nicked a quick on Marco's nail, and I didn't notice it right away. I put him down, and then he's bleeding, and it was a front leg. And I put him back on the table, and I put some quick stop on it and patted it down real carefully, and put him down again. Well, now he's going to run from me because he doesn't want me to keep doing things with his feet. So he goes and hides behind the recliner and licks the quick stop off the bleeding nail. So I go to say, okay, let's go. And we want to go to get out the door. And he's got this bloody foot.
Oh, no.
He sits in the car and he gets blood on my jeans. And I go into the vet and say, oh, yeah, I was a groomer of over 50 years. And here I am handing her my dog with the bleeding nail. It was so embarrassing. I said, this is so embarrassing. But
Well, they'll remember you.
they'll remember me. I don't think they charged me for that. That was real nice of them. They cleaned up its foot without charging me for it. That was a surprise. But I have to go back. I have to get his his teeth done. His teeth are just really bad. He's going to lose most of his teeth. The quote before extractions is $1,200. So you can
Yikes.
imagine, and one thing that happened was that the next day, because she kind of messed with the teeth a little bit, the next day I found two teeth on the floor that fell out. I said, well, thank you, Marco.
That's two less.
Yeah, it's two less.
Yeah, at least you won't be paying for those.
They were attached, they were so badly calcified it looked like a fossil on my rug.
Oh,
But I recognized because I've had it happen before. So now I have to use a really strong medicated shampoo. And this vet isn't too particularly concerned with disturbing the microbiome of the skin like I am. Like, no, just do it 3 times a week. What I was going to do is I was going to get some iGroom prebiotic conditioner to follow it, but it was going to cost me like $55 to get a 16-ounce bottle because of $15 shipping. Yeah, it was going to cost an inordinate amount of money. And so I instead got the Doxo Pet. It's an oatmeal conditioner. It looks really good. It looks really good.
oh, good.
We'll see. To be continued. You see if this all clears up this stuff. I don't know how they got allergies. They're inside all the time. The pollen and everything is pretty much outside, but they're Arizona dogs. They're older, and now they're in this humid environment. And I think that's probably what's caused it. And I'm expecting it to clear up in the next month or so. And that was my adventure to the vet. The grooming that I did, Susie, was so worth it because everybody that saw them said, "Oh, how cute! They really look so cute." And it was because I took that time to do a little styling and not just take them looking their shaggy selves.
How about if we move on to our first appointment, Barbara, which is all about the big category of thinners? Did you know that Stasco has come out with a couple of new products? First, there's the Stasco Oatmeal Protein Conditioner. This conditioner provides exceptional body and manageability and super shiny finishes. And it has a wonderful apple scent that I love. Great in the recirculator, too. And they have a new matching protein conditioning spray, dematting, anti-static conditioning, and finishing all in one, just like the original Stasco spray, but with that delicious apple fragrance. Look for these new products at trade shows and your favorite distributors like Cascade Grooming Supplies. Let me tell you about Best Shot's newest addition to the Ultramax Pro line. Ultramax Hair Hold is a flexible hairspray that can be layered on for a stronger hold. Ultramax Hair Hold spray is great, but my favorite new product is called the Max, and I won't groom without it. It's a fragrance-free ultra-concentrate conditioner and detangler. It reduces drying time and handles undercoat and tangles like magic. Just a few drops in the final rinse or spray it on and dry it in. Contact your favorite Best Shot distributor or learn more online at bestshotpet.com. Grooming success begins with Best Shot in your tub. Made from the best stuff on earth. Ready, groomers? Here comes our first appointment. So I caught AI in kind of another interesting misinformation moment. I asked them, when did thinners show up in the grooming industry? They said mid-century, like the 50s, which I don't think there were a lot of blenders in the 50s and thinners and chunkers and stuff. But I know. We'll ask Barbara because Barbara was there.
I was, well, 60s and up. And thinners were available, but they were not widely used. pretty much show people used thinners, which we would now call blenders. It's like I learned to groom with one pair of shears, and it was not a thinner. When I started doing terriers, then I got handed a thinning scissor to use. But one of those, an 8-inch double duck, big fat mother, and a blender, and that was it. And now I have 100 shears and I'm retired. I gotta have a little blender and a big blender and a chunker and a curve thinner and la da 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 da. I have a whole scissor case full of the thinners category. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. I have some little teeny tiny ones that I got in Japan that are really cool. And I've got like the first ones I ever had were from thinners, blenders actually.
Those original Froms were really good. They were low price. They were cheapos that were good and they lasted for a long time.
Oh, they're still good.
I have a 4-inch blender that I got from Chris Christensen. I forget what he called it. Termite, I think it was called. and
That's a good name.
I still have that, but I have the 5.5-inch blender from Arius Eichert that I still use.
Me too.
It's just really good for around the eyes because of just the way the two blades are at the tip. It's not sharp, they're round, but they both meet. So a lot of small blenders have a cutting edge that's a little bit longer than the comb edge. And then that doesn't let you get up into the corner of the eye as well. So I have always been very fond of the Arius Eichert, and you can still get them on Amazon, by the way.
What?
Yeah,
Are they somebody's backstock? How is that happening?
they're there.
Oh, that's cool. So I always think of the resurgence of blenders in the grooming industry to have come when all the textured haircuts happened in the 80s.
Yeah, right. That's when human hair got out texturized and they would thin it out and it would poke up and stuff. And that's when the technology took off and it was applied to pet grooming after the fact.
It was sold to me by my mentor at the time for more natural looking cuts and for the eraser value, the magic eraser value. And boy, did I need eraser value when I was starting
Right.
out. There was divots and lines and
Yeah,
everything.
that I learned the magic eraser trick too, and that was one of the main reasons of having a. And the other thing that was the main reason was blending the sides of terrier faces from where you clipped and blending that in so that it was a more natural transition from skin to beard and not just poof out beard.
For me, the where it really hit home is the jawline on the drop coat breeds is softening up that jawline. It just makes it look so much better if you just take the blenders and come along in there. And AI said that they were safer than regular shears. I don't know. I've nicked a dog with my blenders and the little the little teeth bit into I think it might have been an ear. It was terrible. I did not enjoy that moment whatsoever. Plus, you can't hide it very well.
Yeah, yeah. Arius Eichert Professional Series 8440 5.5-inch 28 tooth blender. not quite the same quality as we used to get, but still very functional, kind of a nice small size.
Cool. They are really evolving now. Like all we had in the beginning was thinners from the hair industry. And then they came up with the blenders, which is one cutting edge and then the, what would you call that, feathered edge?
The tooth edge.
The tooth edge. And then they started notching the teeth edges. And then they started making them really long. And that's where I got into a lot of trouble. I'd buy the real long ones, the like 8 inchers. And then because of thumb pressure, they wouldn't cut almost instantly. I would take them out of alignment.
That's what happens to a lot of people who get chunkers. They knock them out of whack right away because they push with their thumb. That just knocks the tooth edge out of whack with the cutting edge. It catches right there and won't cut. You pretty much have to get help from a sharpener to get that back. And somebody did that. It wasn't me. Somebody did that with my 8 inch fancy chunkers that I got from Randy that have a little blender.
Oh,
Yeah, the little blender at the tip, and then the chunkers on the rest of the blade.
the half and halves.
Yeah, it happened when I was in Simpsonville, and I think somebody tried them out behind my back.
Well, it really discouraged me when I wrecked those because they were expensive and I bought them and then they didn't work. So I really got turned off. But what turned me back on to the chunkers is I bought a very small pair and I cannot wreck them.
Me too.
And they are so helpful in so many different ways. And they've got bigger teeth so that they make a more textured look. They remove more hair and they really do a great job of, like, for instance, sculpting the breeches on a double coated dog or cleaning up the underline of a double coated dog instead of hacking away at it with their blenders, which can take a bit of time if you don't have the right teeth count. You just go in there with the chunkers and then you go over it with the blenders and it softens the whole look up. They're just really cool. They also, I think Randy might have been the first one to do it. They make curved blenders and curved chunkers now.
Yes, I have those. I have Randy's original.
The sunflowers, the curved blenders. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, curved blenders.
I also have the bobcat.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have the bobcat.
Yeah, the bobcat curved blenders. I find myself reaching for them way more than I do my straight ones anymore. I love them. They just fit my hands so well. They're really nice. Yeah. So, do you ever do any bulk thinning with your blenders?
I have.
I used to do more. I don't do it so much because I'm not sure it's a great technique.
Well, it's a pay for it later.
Buy now,
technique,
pay later.
because what, yeah, right. So it'll look good going into the show ring today, but 3 weeks from now, when there's growth and everything that happens within there, where you like thinned out some hair, you made some shorter hairs. And as they grow longer, they make everything puff out and be
Yeah, it does
more
not
out of
look
line.
tight. It doesn't look as tight after it grows out. And then you end up doing it again and then it makes it even worse. And so I kind of stopped that technique, but I still use them for the underline and sometimes to get those wispy golden retriever floofs away. I'll use my blenders or my chunkers for that. Schnauzer eyebrows. Schnauzer eyebrows make it so that if you use your blenders, that if you make a mistake, it's easier to correct because you haven't chopped the entire eyebrow off like I have done before.
Yeah, I I like the little curves for the schnauzer eyebrows. I like getting that little
That's because you don't
curve.
mess it up like I do.
Yeah, Well, there's so many ways to get good schnauzer eyebrows. You can get them with really long straights, where you put it like the outside of the nose to the side of the face, and just in one big swoop, you can get it. But what I would do is I would go to the side of the head and still curve it in a
Yeah,
little
I've
bit.
done some of my worst damage with that
I'm
long
looking
shear
at.
across the nose. I get the angle wrong and it doesn't work for me. That's why that's why
It
I start
doesn't
out
work
with my
good.
blenders and then I go in with my tiny curves and clean it up after I've set it in a reasonable spot and not screwed it up. But I think that blenders are best for overall softening and natural look. They have been doing entire dogs with blenders. Back in like 5 years ago, they were scissoring entire bichons with blenders. I don't think you get quite the same look that way. Like it's not as sharp a finish.
Yeah, maybe you're
It just
right.
doesn't seem as tight. It doesn't seem as plush. It doesn't seem as stuffed animal like when you do it with blenders as opposed to when you come in with really good shears and you can scissor.
I don't know. I used to scissor bichons with chunkers all the time, and I
Right,
loved
but
it.
you're good. That's the flaw there. I'm trying to talk for every man here. People that are more like me. I don't know who made my little chunkers. But my bobcat chunkers, those curved ones, those are sliding thumb, and I do love those. Although my sliding thumb screw has loosened a little bit, and I have to tighten it often, and I'm going to have to put a drop of glue on there to keep it still. But I love those. They are so nice. And my links, but I don't have blenders in my links, just in the bobcats. Do you ever have the two blenders stuck together? You know, the double blender shear? They were too heavy, but they were interesting.
Oh yeah, I had one of those. It was a blender on top of a regular scissor.
Yeah, that was it.
The two scissors put together, and they were too heavy.
Too
You're
heavy, me
right.
too.
They
Too
were too
heavy.
heavy. Didn't really get that great because there's a lot of places where you would want to go there where you couldn't put the two that much bulky metal.
Yep.
I'm not sure whether Northern Tales has those small chunkers anymore or not. I don't see them there. They're definitely not $50 anymore.
Well, if you're looking for a really nice assortment of blenders and thinners and chunkers to choose from, Precision Sharp has a lot of selection there. So you can look at their stuff. Evolution Shears has some with the swivel thumb as well. Yeah, just you got to put your hands on them really to find the ones that work right for you. But don't shy away from the smaller chunkers if you happen to have some strong thumb pressure. All right, let's take a break. Let's hear from our sponsors one more time, and then we're going to be back with dog odors and the value of fragrance.
And fragrances, yeah. What do we use fragrances for? Let's talk about it.
All right, the doggy odor, the role of fragrances. That's what we titled it. We'll be right back. The GroomPod and Precision Sharp would like to invite you to check out the newest precise cut shear called Lynx. Its patented design features a thumb ring that slides the length of the handle for perfect ergonomic placement of your thumb. Slide it, lock it into place, and get your best grooms on. Check it out at precisionsharp.com.
Show Season has a great enzymatic cleaner called Kennel Fresh. And you dilute it with warm water and it smells good, and then it evaporates to be a deodorant. As the Kennel Fresh dries, it's enzymatic, it eats the bacteria and the odor source. So it's really good stuff. You can use it indoors or out. Find it at your local distributors or showseasongrooming.com. So I just want to make a little reminder. Speaking of the kennel fresh, you do need to allow the kennel fresh to dry on the area that you're deodorizing. It it is not like an antiseptic where it goes on and kills the bacteria and then you can rinse it off. You can't rinse it off. We had that happen. Jody pulled up my fake grass and put it out on the lawn, and he sprayed it down real well with the kennel fresh, and then he rinsed it off, and he wondered why it still smelled out there. Well, I said, you sabotaged the product. There's no handyman that wants to be accused of sabotage. But that's exactly what happens. If you rinse the kennel fresh off, you're sabotaging the results. It can't work unless it dries on what you're trying to deodorize.
Groomers, take your seats. It's time for B-Bird's Classroom.
Speaking of deodorizing, Susie, I ran into this post on the shampoos group from a groomer that wanted to know what product we would recommend for a long-lasting scent. And then at the end of her thing, she said, I have Labradors. So to me, that said, she's got Labrador Retrievers. Labrador Retrievers tend to have doggy odor. And there are a number of breeds, mostly the larger breeds, that have this kind of breed tendency to kind of smell not dirty, but just
Odiferous.
Odiferous, yeah.
Muy fragrante.
Muy, muy fragrante. It smells like dog. And here's the thing, why do we use fragrances? How we use fragrances is interesting to me because I started grooming before fragrances were a thing. There were fragrances in the products, but they were pretty mild, just enough to offset the chemical smell of the surfactants and stuff and just make the product pleasant. But now we're expected to bathe with a shampoo that's going to have 4 or 5 days of fragrance after the shampoo. And that's a big ask. And it's especially a big ask with Labrador Retrievers because they have their own body. It's kind of going in the opposite direction. So you clean them off and they smell okay after the bath, and then a day or two later they're starting to smell doggy already. And it's because they have a high pH of their skin.
Really?
That's the core cause of a lot of doggy odor is bacteria. And bacteria are promoted in situations of higher pH, like 8.0 or higher. And some dogs, Labradors, German Shepherd dogs,
Rottweilers.
Rottweilers, and others like Basset hounds have those ears that get smelly.
And all the wrinkles.
Flues, dogs that have flues, they get their own saliva kind of on their face. They're just a lot of causes of dog odor. And instead of addressing the cause of the dog odor, we try to cover it up with perfume. And when this first started in it was the early 80s, and they started coming out with dog colognes. I was just dumbfounded. Like, why would you want to spray fragrant chemicals on a dog?
Because it smells good. That's easy. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I also come from the other side where I love the smells.
I like my dogs to smell good when they're up in my face, but they don't need to walk around a living air wick. Here's the deal. Those Labradors that she's having trouble kind of keeping them fresh, they need an acidifying rinse. Even just a white vinegar dissolved in water, like a half a cup of vinegar in a gallon and a half of water in a bucket,
How about results rinse?
and results rinse. And
Okay.
then Schniff has this product that's called acid wash. That's also, it's citric acid, and it is so overpriced, so incredibly overpriced. I'm just saying. I mean, like a 16-ounce spray bottle costs $20, and it's like vinegar and water, only it's acetic acid or citric acid in water, and probably one of their fragrances. And ay ay ay. But if you got it, it's on you. It's fine. Um, it's going to do the same thing that results rinse does. If I had a Labrador, I know I used to do the white vinegar rinse on my black lab mix that I had. He would go days and days, a week without smelling bad. I mean, I never thought he stunk, but I know that some get pretty funky. Some dogs get pretty funky. And if they have more hair, the more hair they have, the funkier they get. And the higher the pH. And the whole pH thing is not something that's cut and dried. It's hard to even say this breed has high pH and this breed has low pH, because pH can vary on different days. It can vary between sexes. Hormones can affect the pH.
Different areas of the dog have different pH.
Different areas of the dog. There's just like more differences than there are similarities. But the shampoo itself will cleanse the dog and kill any odoriferous bacteria that are on the dog. And if you need to extend the freshness period, do an acidifying rinse. And then here's the other thing that I have about shampoos and fragrances. Shampoos are worked into the skin of the dog. Colognes sit on the surface of the hair coat and are not nearly as likely to cause allergic reactions as are shampoos. So if you like fragrances and your customers want fragrances, go for a spray. If you're using bandanas, spray the bandana.
That's always a good way to go. So, here, tell me this. I feel like I give a good bath. I have a bathing beauty. I have, a recirculating bathing system. I use the correct product for the correct dog. I would use an acidifying rinse. When I'm done washing a dog, I want that dog to smell neutral. The reason I spray the flavor on is to add to that. So I'm not trying to cover up an odor, I'm trying to add an odor. And I think that spraying it on the bandana is a great way to go. But I'd never want to have to cover up an odor. My niece has a golden retriever that has a lot of really thick neck hair, and the dog swims all the time. So it always is yeasty and smells like really bad right here. I take the Best Shot one shot deodorizing spray and I'll spray that rather than try and cover up the odor. If for some reason it's not gone, I'll use that, and it kind of eats at the odor.
Well, yeah, it scoops it up. The best shot uses the cyclodextrin. The cyclodextrins are like little teeny bucket shaped molecules that actually entice the odor to go into the bucket, and then it hold it in there and rinse it off. So they like scoop up the odor source and rinse it down the drain. So that's a good thing too. But I would like to see people consider the natural odor source of the dog. What is it? It's good. You recognize the neck and the fleas, and dogs with a lot of frontal hair can have that smell kind of bad, or whiskers can smell bad. But the idea of wanting a longer and longer and longer lasting fragrance is, well, it can cause more problems than it's worth, because in order for a fragrance to be long lasting, it either has to be in a much higher dosage, the dose makes the poison, or either it has to be in an extra high dosage, or it has to be extended with phthalates that make the fragrance last longer. And instead of a vinegar rinse, a results rinse, a spray from Sniff on the dog before
Or best shot.
best shot.
Sniff isn't paying us.
Best shot. I think best shot one shot is it's the most effective deodorizing. So if you think you're having a tendency towards doggy odor, use that shampoo as your shampoo. And you can also get it in a spray and use it in between shampoos rather than dosing it with fragrances that might contain sensitizing allergic creating substances. And it's, we're getting to know that one of the most frequent causes of an allergic reaction and a shampoo bad event are the fragrances.
Yeah, I recognize it. I do. I still like them.
I
I can't
know
help it.
it's not that you don't ever want to use them. It's just that you need to know if you want a longer lasting, why do you want a longer lasting shampoo fragrance?
Right. That makes sense. I like to use fragrances to celebrate the holidays that come along. I like to change it up so that people get a different impression when the dog comes home, but I don't need it to last for a week. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think the dogs like it.
Like we do need to consider that dogs' sense of smell is 1,000 times more sensitive than our sense of smell. However, I haven't had a whole lot of dogs seem to mind fragrances. Dogs like to cover up their own dog scent. It's their natural tendency is to, make them unrecognizable. Well, they might think, of course, in my mind, perfume is like kind of stand out in the forest. You know?
Yes.
you know,
Unless you're spraying with evergreen.
You're not going to exactly blend in with nature if you've got Nature's Specialty Plum Silky on there, which is it's a great fragrance. I like that fragrance. I loved it when I used that on Marco, and he didn't seem to mind, and it lasted a while. It's one of the longer lasting.
The ones that mind will let you know because they sneeze. That's how they tell you what my nose doesn't like this. And if I get a dog that sneezes a bunch, there's definitely going to be a lighter fragrance or no fragrance at all because that's
Yeah.
a definite statement by the dog. And I like to honor that.
Good point. They sometimes they squint their eyes too.
Yeah, or they back away or turn away.
Yeah,
Those are two other
yeah.
things when you bring it out because they know. They can smell it way before it gets out of even into the air. They've got such sensitive noses.
She's
so,
coming
yeah,
with
be
that
gentle.
shit.
Here she is again. Damn it.
Here she comes again. This stinky stuff. Well, just think about it. I mean, I do think that the next 10 years we're going to see an evolution of our pet shampoos labeled as having high allergenic fragrances in them. A lot of change is going to happen.
And Best Shot's fragrances are hypoallergenic.
I think that Pet Shot has used a formulator that has formulated a quote hypoallergenic fragrance that tried to avoid some of the common causes like lavender oil and tea tree oil and lemongrass oil is bad and so on and so forth. You're frozen. So I don't know. There you go. There again. Think about it. Think about
the dog's experience. Think about what you're trying to do with your fragrances. I oftentimes sell or send a link to the Best Shot deodorizing spray to people with those odoriferous dogs for them to use in the in-between.
Yeah.
Because I think that's better than just giving them a fragrance.
I think so too. The more we layer that fragrance on them, the more we are asking for an allergic reaction to happen. We really are.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, everyone. We really appreciate you listening. Remember to let us know if you get to go in the back and see the doctor at your vet hospital, or if your vet hospital is now turned into one like Barbara's where they take the pet in back and do the exam and then come out front. Let us know that on the Facebook group. Also, you can let us know on the Facebook group what your favorite fragrances are. We'd love to see that. Support us, support our sponsors. Happy grooming, everyone. See you next time on the GroomPod. Bye now.
Thanks for being here and take care of yourselves because we love you.